Wasting my time.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right, show number 234. Sorry for being a few minutes late. Had some technical difficulties as usual. And looking at the comments here, I see that I was thrown under the bus by Tyson Hogan and Johnny Box, and yours truly behind the glass, your friend and mine, Mr. Dave Sturcio. Good afternoon, Dave. How we doing?
What's going on, Jimmy? It's another beautiful Tuesday here, and in lieu of a really fun, aka heart-wrenching weekend, I actually made a trip to New Brunswick, New Jersey today to the old Scarlet Fever, just in case you had a ticket for me for Friday.
Well, if my brother's listening, I sent him a text this morning. We're waiting on that, but
and I got myself, I know that Rutgers is now branded by Nike, so I wanted to get a blackout shirt for Nike, and I did that. So
you're ready to go. All right.
Ready to go in case. Just I'm ready for the old, bring them in.
Come in the big right-hander. Yes. Of course, you disappear as soon as you touch your arm, but I believe you're still there.
Yeah, I'm here.
They're blaming my technical difficulties. Meanwhile, Palumbo 5 1/3. Well, of course, this is show number 234. We've done 234. You know what? This is going to sound shitty or funny or stupid, which is my whole career. You know what's so funny? Like, we really haven't missed a week. I'm trying to think. Did we miss one?
There might have been one. I think there was one, and I can't remember why. And I can't.
And whatever it was like super legitimate. I remember it was like.
Well, here's the thing. With Chris, it was probably because he had a kidney stone or some shit like that. But for me, I remember joining you guys when I was in Dallas. So like, I've never missed a show.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think. Unless. I know there's one show that was lost. So if this becomes a Emmy-nominated show someday, like find the lost episode somewhere. There's a Jimmy Palumbo Show missing, but no, I don't think we have. You know what? It's funny. I'm proud of that in a sick way. Every week we're here. Sometimes we got to move it Tuesday. You can't do the exact same time. But we both got kids. Shit gets in the way. Doctor's appointments, different gigs, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. But we're here. Show number 234, and that means when you think of the number 34. Immediately, Cleet Boyer comes to your mind. I know my job is to completely drive in Diddy well off the road here at Shea. Dick Hauser, coach of the Yankees for about 10 years, and shitty pitcher Dave LaRoche. Your dad's going to remember him on the Yankees. Dave LaRoche was the only pitcher that the entire Palumbo family feels that if we got up against him like right now, like him in his prime, me at 60 years old, I think I could slap a base hit over Dave LaRoche. He looked like he was pitching softball to me. Horrible. Remember Pascual Perez? He was number 34. Steinbrenner made him warm up at like midnight when they got him in a trade. He was a cokehead. I think he's dead now. I think he got shot. Mel Stottlemyre, pitching coach, which the Yankees haven't been any good since Mel Stottlemyre left. Then you've got for the Giants, for the old timers, Don Chandler, Greg Camilla. Now, Venditti's he's in like the Grand Canyon now. Elvis Toast Patterson. Of course, Herschel Walker. And Louis Tillman, which is part of one of Artie Lang's jokes. Hand of Tillman, maybe. Which, rumor has it, I used to do Bob Shepard and Jim Gordon with Artie, and I'm not going to say it was Walt Clyde Frazier stolen, but I had a heavy influence in that bit, I assure you. And then you got
you get Wally pipped.
I might have, but he might have took that one. He'll admit I there's no doubt I influenced him because I used to do Jim Gordon alongside Dick Lynch, football giant, so he got that from me. Cornell Green, for you Dallas Cowboy fans there, aging veteran. Tony Galbraith, and of course you Jet fans who Jets stink, Johnny Hector. And then, of course, you got, there's some legends, Walter Payton, Shaq, Barkley, and, of course, Bo Jackson. So 34, these numbers in the 30s aren't as fun, except for Dave LaRoche. I do this just so I can say Dave LaRoche because I don't think people in his family talk about him. So number 34, 234 shows here at Shea. And of course, again, classic Jimmy Palumbo, second part of the show. The baseball card portion of our show, which
brought to you by Absolute
some
Eyewear.
people, this is where some people hit the 10-second button. I've been there, done that. But of course, this is everybody's favorite Bill Long here. Now, Bill was a legend, a true legend. 6 years. His record was 27-27 with an ERA of 4.37, which means he'd be like a third starter now. He had a whip of 1.365, which I know stinks, and I don't even know what whip means. He also pitched. He pitched 9 years in the minors. That's my new thing when I do these baseball card things. They show you initially, what his major league stats are, but if you click on a button, this guy pitched in every city. I mean, he could be a travel guide. This guy pitched in every city. Played for the White Sox, the Cubbies, and Montreal. Weird, a trade to the Cubs from the White Sox. I don't think that happens that often. 1989, he had a banner year, 5-5 with a 3.9 ERA. So that even stinks. He made about $300,000 a year. He was traded twice. 65 years old here at Shea. He played football at Miami of Ohio, which, of course, in Rutgers land, that's another defeat. And he's also now, you know what he does now? He doesn't coach. He's a retired middle school teacher out of Union, Kentucky. He's got a wife and a son, and that'll do it for Bill Long.
Well, Dying Breed Garage, the Will Pena was close. He said he's a master plumber in Linden.
Well, there could be a guy named Bill Long. Maybe that's his twin brother there. But so that's all for Bill Long. The back of his baseball card just says how he threw 3 shutouts in Salem League. I love it. Just a nobody cares. But on the Jimmy Palumbo Show, we care about you. If you are an aging veteran minor leaguer pro guy, we gotta give you a little love. And of course, which brings us to Patreon Day here at Shea. We're not mired. We're hanging in there at 54. Of course, we just got to wait for the Hogans and the Clarks to have more kids. So you can, I'm still at 54. We are looking for a speed limit. We need a speed limit here at Shea. But shout out to my cousin Joanne, who has been rock steady. I don't talk about her much. She's one of my older cousins. She's older than me. She'll hate me. I said that. And of course, you got Will Pena, who was at the Rutgers game last Saturday, but I wasn't. And also Lisa Lupo coming in, Demo's wife. And I must bring up something. I am injured right now. My shoulder's in trouble, man. Over 2 weeks now. So I've been using the patches. They've actually helped a little bit. ChasingMiracles.com. That's right. Shit your body needs. My body needs it. So I put these patches on. They do help a little bit, which you definitely feel something. Like I said, shit your body needs. Go talk to Tommy and Donna at ChasingMiracles.com. They also got this new thing, which I'm going to get to you. I'm going to have you try it on if I see you on Friday. Hopefully I will. It's called Trim. It's the kind of thing that you'll eat up, I believe. But give it a shot. ChasingMiracles.com. Give them a call. Tommy and Donna, good people. They've been with me for this long showbiz ride, and that's what they do. All right. Well, since you're wearing your star there, and the Giants played the Cowboys, the Giant Cowboy game. I could go so many different ways with this. I really can. Bottom line is, look, there's 2 ways I can look at this. Number one, I actually watched the full Giant game without switching that often to air disasters or C-SPAN or other coverage of the world. I watched it to the very end. I actually think the Giants outplayed them. I mean, I know they did. I thought the Giants secondary did really, really well. There were long stretches where you didn't hear Pickens or CeeDee Lamb's name. Of course, they did catch some big balls down the stretch. I thought the secondary on the Giants was playing over their heads at certain points. I'm like, and one of the things, I know you're a big Dak guy, but I guess I would be the worst announcer because all I saw him do for most of the game, he just hits that valve. And it's like he goes back to pass, nothing, dumps to the valve. Now, the Giants secondary, I think, was just on, and they were putting some pressure. But I think as the game wore on, Cowboys have a decent line. the Giants got less and less pressure, especially in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter was nuts. I think it was like 6 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. And the other way I can go about this, the Giants are 0-2, and in the NFL, 0-2 means 6% chance of making the playoffs. And you can make the argument that they both stink. You really can, because, I mean, Russell Wilson, he's 64, and he threw for 450 yards. Now, the Cowboys defense was horrific. Clearly, Parsons was missed, no doubt about it. It'll take time for them to adjust to that. I mean, they had 534 total yards. I don't remember the last time the Giants did that. But look, the Giants at the end of the game, they hit a bomb to go ahead with 19 seconds to go. And the kicker thing is really, this guy Aubrey is really incredible. I had to do a deep dive on him like I do with the baseball card thing. He's hit 90% of his field goals, which is incredible. But he's never missed under 30, so he hasn't had one of those shitty ones. And he's 27 for 30 over 50, and he has a long of 65 and now 64. It's just an incredible weapon. And his story, I didn't know it. He was a soccer player, played soccer at Notre Dame and running around different leagues. The Cowboys signed him because his wife was sitting with him on the couch, and somebody missed a field goal kick, and his wife said, "No, you can do that." So he literally went outside with a football down the field, which I'd probably be a movie someday. And he started kicking the ball. Next thing you know, he was on a shitty USFL, those bad leagues. And I guess somebody saw him and he came into camp. And I do know, though, when kickers come in for their auditions and stuff, they make them kick a bunch. And the Cowboys were smart enough to bring him in. I guess he was under the radar. And all of a sudden,
he played for the USFL, Jimmy. That's where he was.
Yeah, but even they still bring you in and you kick. I was friends with Matt Bryant, and he says you get in this pool, you go in. They watch NFL coach. They don't mess around. They really do a deep dive on you. And he's 9 kicks away, where I guess they do the most accurate ever, but you have to have a certain amount of kicks because he's only played 2 seasons. 23, 24 now this year. But if he kicks 9 more and say he makes them all, he'll be the top most accurate kicker of all time. That being said, as a Rutgers fan, as a Giant fan, and even a Cowboy, watching Cowboys my whole life, there is no doubt in my mind it's coming, bro. This guy, the story's too perfect. I think he's going to shank one. It's going to bite the Cowboys in the ass. But it's really an incredible story. There's nothing to hate about the guy. And his kicks, they don't like hook in. It's not like, it's like, I think really you can make the argument, although my big thing against the Cowboys is when you do a halfback dive to set up a 64-yarder, that's a recipe for disaster over time. But I got to tell you, I think there's going to be a game where there's going to be 2 seconds left, whatever the hell, Cowboys get the ball back by a miracle or something. And they're going to send them out for a 70-yarder. And
that 64-yarder would have been good from 70.
I think, although it's tough to really show because sometimes it looks like it's
they showed the side angle. They cleared it.
I know, but sometimes it's another 5 yards. And you have to hit it. Anyway, listen, the bottom line is I don't recall a kicker where you can legitimately send them out for a 70-yarder. Incredible weapon the Cowboys have, which makes me even laugh how much they really stink. When you got a kicker like that, Jesus Christ, you should 3 them to death. Which a guy used to yell out at Giants Stadium. And Giants went up 9-0. The guy just yelled, and it got quiet, and the guy just yelled out like 3 them to death. As your old man and me watching a game, when you kick too many field goals, what you're immediately saying, like you should have scored touchdowns in those areas, that kind of thing. But listen, it was a great game for people to watch. It got me to watch. And I just don't know. I don't understand. Like the Bears stink. And I don't understand point spreads. I just don't. I think the Bears are really awful. And the Cowboys are getting 1 this week. How does that even? That's incredible.
Because I mean, there's a range of you get 4 for just being at home. So if this was on neutral gang territory, the Cowboys would probably be favored by 3. So
I don't even get that, but I guess
look, point blank period. That game broke me into a million pieces.
You must have been. I was going to text you.
No, it wasn't. Listen, it was It was borderline embarrassing how I was getting around my family. Like,
you must have been out of your mind.
It wasn't cool. I mean, there was like babies crying and shit, and I was just like,
you can't do that,
you
bro.
know. And at that point, I realized, okay, this is not how to act during a football game around your family. My stepmom kept telling me, like, this is your safe space, though. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, well, you know, when kids are crying because Uncle Dave is being too loud or Dad's being too loud. You know, it got to the point where I was like, you know what it is, Jimmy? I swear to God, I only get like that against the Giants. It doesn't matter. Like, they can lose 40-0 to the Bears next week, and I'll be like, they stink, whatever. Like, fine, I'm still angry, but I'm not as vocal. And I think
but why are you that? I mean, the Giants have been such an.
I think it goes back. Like, the Dak Prescott is now second. Dak is now second all time in most consecutive wins over one franchise. The number one guy is Bob Greasy when the Dolphins were beating up on somebody. And I'm like, so in reality, that's the thing. You expect the Cowboys to go and take care of business because it's the Giants. But because of that, and because they got a gun to Russell Wilson right now saying, like, you're about to be benched by, for a kid, blah, blah, blah. He went out there and said, you know what? Fuck all of you. I'm just gonna bomb.
He was
shit.
Great. He was great.
And it was unbelievable. Like, and I couldn't
I didn't
wrap my head around the game playing out the way it was. And it was, like I said, it was to the point where I was embarrassing myself.
What did you feel about the dart package? I thought, what was that?
So the dart thing is going to throw somebody off balance, but the problem is, like, Dallas was already completely screwed. You know what I mean? Like, they couldn't cover shit. So the fact that you wanted to spell in some running plays, and then all of a sudden, like, you did call his number and he tripped over his own 2 feet because he got happy feet. Like, the dart thing's going to happen. If I'm a Giants fan,
fan, he did trip.
He did, right, over his own 2 feet. But, like, I'm saying, if I'm a Giants fan, I know where the future lies, right? But, like, I also know that I have a Super Bowl winning football player as my quarterback right now. You got to rally behind this guy. Like, you're not going to beat the Cowboys, or you're not going to beat the opening week game against the Redskins, or even next week against Mahomes. You're not going to beat him with Jackson Dart. You're just not going to do it. So if you want to be competitive right now, Russell Wilson's your guy, and just get behind him. I mean, the guy just threw for almost 500 yards.
Listen, I think the Giants are behind him, but just, he didn't play great against the Commanders. And also, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to make my brother always says I'm so wrong on my predictions, but I'm really not. Giants are beating the Chiefs. I watched the Chiefs. They have a look of a team that it's over. I don't care what anybody says. They just look like a team like, you know what? It's over. You just feel it. They just don't have it. Listen, they could rally and score 70 points on the Giants, but I think the Giants. I think the Giants. I think the Giants' defensive line.
No, the Giants. Listen, to the Giants' credit, the Giants' front is just ginormous. There's a bunch of ballers on that defensive front. Sexy Dexty and fucking Brian Burns and the new kid and Thibodeau, and, like, they got some real good football players on that front.
I think that causes trouble in Chiefland. I'm going to say something else.
It does.
Here comes a stupid thing. I know everybody hates that offensive lineman who got 11 penalties.
Oh, he was a fucking idiot.
But you know what, though? I'm sitting on the couch, right? And this guy, he had that look in his eyes of like to me, I know he was wrong, and especially the swipe. But there was a part of me sitting on the couch. I was like,
hey. He was looking like Bone Crusher Smith.
I know, yeah, but there was a part of me that was like, yeah, this guy's pissed. He's like angry. I was like, the Giants have this calmness. I can't stand it. I was like, I say this about Rutgers all the time. I want a guy who you don't know. The coach may bench him due to, like, disciplinary reasons. You got to have a few of those guys on the team. I don't care what usually they're wide receivers and stuff, but I thought I guarantee you, I think that guy is going to end up being okay.
But you could tell that Brian Dable has, like, such either a soft spot or whatever, because at one point they panned over to him and, like, you can read his mouth, like, one more penalty, he's out of here, take him out.
Right, I know, and he pushed, he got it. But
they went back to him again after another penalty, and he was like, okay, one more after that. He kept doing it.
Yeah, and he also, in his press conference, said the kid was competitive. There was something about that guy. I'm like, you know what? I get a funny feeling like 3 years from now, we're going to be like, remember that guy when he first started out? He was a jerk off. Now all of a sudden, no one's got by him. And I could be wrong. You know what it was? I was sitting on the couch by myself, And I was like, hey.
That's how I should have watched the game.
Well, yeah, listen, you can't, dude. You got to, what the fuck you doing? You got to relax with you.
Listen,
dude, it's just,
like
it's
I said,
so unimportant.
There's certain moments in my life as a fan that you even realize in real time that you're too much, right? And I was like, even my dad who says nothing to me, and listen, this is coming from a guy, me, who never cursed in front of his father until he married my bonus mom Barry, who's a Brooklyn Jew who's got the mouth of a fucking sailor. So I never cursed in front of him. The words that I'm dropping in front of all the kids and I'm like,
it's so bad, bro.
I'm like, I texted the whole family. When I got home, I sent a text to the whole family. I said, look, I'm sorry for ruining the Sunday, and we won. So that's another thing. I told my brother, I said, what are the odds of this? That game, past game that I felt like, again, like a horrible human being. The last time I got like that, well, one of the other times I've gotten like this, I was at Fox and Hound, and the Cowboys won.
Which is a bar in Menlo Park.
Yeah, a walk-off kick by Martin Gramatica, right? Martin Gramatica. Yeah. We win that game. I get blitzed because we beat the Giants, right? And then I drive home. Ooh. So then when I pulled into my house, I'm pulling onto the front yard, and my father and my brother are like, is this a joke? And they beat the shit out of me. So like, and then because I was driving, I was 21 years old, 22 years old. So like, it's the Giants. It's officially the Giants that bring the worst out of me.
I don't know why the Giants
15 years.
The Giants just stink. I
know.
The Eagles actually, like I said, the Eagles have been making me crazy a little bit, but I think I was bummed the Giants lost, but I got to admit there was a part of me that said, hey, I watched the football game that was competitive. Sounds awful, but the Giants have been
if you're a neutral fan, if you're just a football fan, you watch that game, you're like, oh, that was the greatest game I ever saw. Can every game be like that? You know what I mean? Like,
yes, it was a great game for the NFL people, but for a Giant fan, it ended shitty. Which brings us to the Scarlet Knights. Look, I missed the game last Saturday. I watched it in its entirety. That's what a loser I am. I watched the whole game. My brother and some of the people that were at the game and watched it in live, they didn't like the way it started. The defense was a little off, and I'm like, these games
gave up 10 points.
Yeah, I know, but they were moving the ball. They ran the ball against us. Bottom line is these kind of games and all like that. I think Penn State was only up 10-0 at the half.
I think Ohio State was losing to Ohio for a while, or like up by 4 or something.
They didn't play well. Bottom line is we're 3-0, and which is where we had to be. And now we got 9 games, the 9-game season. Big Ten plays 9 division games, not like the SEC that plays 8. Hello, rankings. I think that's a huge thing. You play one other in-conference game, it's a big deal to me.
You get 3 buys in the process, like leading up.
Well, it's still it's not. You played 8 SEC games, or Rutgers has to play 9. I mean, and if I'm a bowl committee, I'm like, well, the SEC, some of those shitty SEC.
100%. If I see that, if I see a Big Ten team with one more in-conference win than not, then I would definitely give them
I think, and they got to make that even because they all need the revenue games. Everybody, there's nothing you can fix. Everybody should play 9 games anyway.
Here we go. Tyson said the SEC is changing to 9 next year.
Yeah, because the Big Ten was busting their balls, probably.
And no, Will, Fox and Hound is done, and that was my favorite sports bar, and it's gone. So
yeah, by the time
they went bankrupt during 2020.
By the way, this is okay. I'm going to sound like Y.A. Tittle now. By the time Fox and Hounds became popular, I was already in the booth. I was like Phil Simms doing games. I went in there once. I thought everybody was a jerk off.
I was probably in there.
You were probably in there. You were one of the jerk off.
They used to call me Cowboy Dave. You got to see the reactions the bartenders and the servers have when I would walk in there on a Sunday. They're like, fuck.
Yeah, here we go.
Knowing the havoc I was about to call.
Oh, I would have hated your guts. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. Anyway, well, again, predictions by the Jimmy Palumbo Show, I think, should be picked up by ESPN. I said the difference maker is Ethan Kalakamakamakamakis, And who is the number one rated passer in all of college football right now?
All of college football.
All
and
of college
that's
football.
crazy.
There's 175 teams. And the guy I said was the difference is ranked number one. Not Gary Nova, not Mike Teal, all these guys I got to hear about on Facebook.
No, no. First of all, screw the past Rutgers quarterbacks. We're talking about current quarterbacks right now.
Right.
Like Nussmeier, who's going to win the Heisman at one point, you would think. He's higher ranked than that. So it's like,
let me tell you something. If you're Texas, you're going, damn, I wish we had a guy like Ethan. Okay. This guy, he missed a few passes this week, which I watched. But when he missed the pass, he grabbed his helmet. He looked so angry at himself. And then 2 plays later, darts. I don't know. This guy throws NFL passes. I don't understand what I guess he's not going to get drafted because he doesn't have the height and weight. I have no idea. All I know is, again, you bring the team downfield. You score. I think he's awesome. By the way, Norfolk State stinks. But we got a big one.
Well, I just want to say welcome to Joshua Diaz, saying he loves to see local guys and local sports news, and he says he misses Fox and Hound. So do I, man.
Fox and Hound. What is it now? It's probably
it's literally just a dormant next to Macy's, just laying
really?
there.
It's not even a restaurant in there.
They didn't even open it up. They have a.
That was a shit.
What the hell do you call that shit when you dice all the fucking?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever.
You know, talk when they spray the shit in your mouth. Why can't I think hibachi?
Oh, Jesus. What the hell are you talking? First of all, there's a bar in LA called the Fox and the Hounds. That's an awesome pub. I that place. Anyway, I can't.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, I was late to the party.
Sponsored by Fox and Hounds here. But Rutgers plays Iowa on Friday.
What's the spread of that game?
It is RU plus 2.5. RU dropped in the Massey ratings to 42. They win. Rutgers win 60-10, and they dropped 2.
We ain't nobody's dogs. Got it? We ain't nobody's home dogs.
Not in our house. Not in our house, bro.
Not in our house, baby. Can't wait till Jimmy yells that in the third quarter, just blitzed off. Not in our house, just yelling at people.
I do that when we're down 21-0. You do know at Rutgers Stadium, they used to have this wall. Now it's New Jersey. It's like a high school thing. They had a thing on the wall. They couldn't put championships. It literally should have been called the history of play wells. It literally was like games like, Rutgers beats Temple 60-50, and it was like a lot of points there. I
remember we walked by that wall as we walk in, right?
Yeah. And now it says like Linden High or something. But back in the day, someone had to go by and say, listen, we can't have this. We don't have anything really to say. I'm telling you, someone out there. I'm gonna go to
college footballs. Have Ring of Honors, have Wall of Fames. We have like the Wall of really good try.
Well, some of them were losses. Why would you? And it was like they put these little footballs and they were tacked into the concrete wall. You know what? I'm gonna do a chat GPT. I gotta find out what was on that wall. I remember me and my cousin John, who was a Penn State guy, we were crying. It's like, it was awful. I think they had the first game 6-4. I always make the joke. Rutgers was given 3. We didn't cover. But listen, Iowa has played. They played one really good team, Iowa State, and they got beat. They're a different team. They do score a lot more. They have a quarterback that can throw the wall of almost by Tyson Hogan. That's funny. I think Rutgers played better team. I think playing Miami of Ohio and Ohio is better than the rank. They're ranked. What is it now? I wrote this down. Yeah, Iowa.
Where are they on the Massey ratings?
Rutgers. They're like 34. But Rutgers played teams ranked 64 and 95. And one of the wins that Iowa played was a team ranked 136. But I think Rutgers is ready for this game more. I think the crowd's going to be going nuts. And remember last year we played Washington at home, and everybody was fired up. And Rutgers held. I mean, we started 4-0. We beat Virginia Tech and Washington 2 games in a row after playing the Linden and Carteret. I just think we're going to win this game. And the main reason is, I just keep on harping on this, we have the better quarterback. And I think if there's 8 minutes to go and we're down by 6, this kid's going to bring us downfield and win the game. But we've never beaten Iowa, so I'm saying
few injuries though going in. It kind of hampers us a little bit.
Guys got banged up on the line and stuff, but I really think I think Rutgers is going to win. I really do. But listen, then we move on. If we can go 4-0, that would be really cool. That'll bring us maybe into the top 35. That'd be
then
nice.
All you got to do is finish 2-6 for the rest of the year, and you're in a bowl game.
I remember though, but 4 games are against top 10 teams. That's another thing. In the history of college football, what school has had on their schedule 4 top 10 teams? But they say they'll be knocked around by the time that comes. I got to discuss my fantasy win, which I never do. Matter of fact, a shout out to James Kanowitz, my website guy. He told me that, because Jim, you got to mention your fantasy, because I don't know what I'm doing. I realized that I had a guy named Colston Loveland at tight end.
He stinks.
He stinks. Matter of fact, I went
online.
Far,
he stinks. He's playing the Cowboys this week, so you know he's going to go off. So that's
no, he's not going to go off. I benched him. I said I put in Theo Johnson because I realized I only took players I want to watch. But Johnson had not that bad of a game. I have, the best part is I have Russell Wilson on the bench.
Oh.
I would have won by like a 90.
Who'd you start instead? I forget.
I had Mayfield, who didn't do that bad.
He had a good game.
I also have Scattaboo, who a lot of what it is. My team stinks, but a lot of the players did above what they're projected at. And someone said that's what you need to look at. But the problem is you got to look at what's projected. And some of my players have such low projections that even if they go over, it's like, well, they say
if Scattaboo goes 30 yards, he tripled what they thought he was going to have.
So yeah, I'm 1-1 in league. But I have a Keenan Allen who did pretty well for me. That's what won it for me late last night. I was down by 12 to start the last game, and he won it for me. But I realized I have to make sure I don't. I thought about putting Wilson in for the game, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave. I'll be at the game on Sunday night. Going with my brother.
Yeah, you're going?
Yeah, my nephew is a big Chiefs fan.
That's right. Okay.
He's going to sit up in the upper deck with us. We're going to have a few laughs, and I don't know. I think the Giants are going to beat the Chiefs. I don't know why. I don't know why. I know. Imagine the Chiefs.
Maybe. I mean, look, dude, if the Chiefs start 0-3, Taylor Swift might call off the engagement.
She's been doing something now. She won't be seen. She's in the background behind walls. They don't want to stay. She might have cut her hair. Or she's pregnant. I mean, if you're a Chief hater, the Taylor Swift thing now is like, I don't know, it makes me crazy. But my nephew's a big Chief fan. He's going to sit with us. And he could be loud at a game like you. But I told him, I said, Jimbo, we're in the upper deck of Giant Stadium for a night game, which means half the place will be filled with Chief fans, I'm sure. And I'm like, dude, we're not going to protect you. You act like a dick. But he won't act like a jerk in front of my brother. In front of me, he would, but not my brother. It doesn't work that way. My brother just put the hammer down on him. But of course, Absolute Eyewear, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey. A shout out to it was either Tyson or Daryl sent me that picture. I sent it to you of the another 732-326
eyes.
That's right. There's another. Those of you scoring at home, somebody sent me a picture. I forget it was Tyson or Daryl of another eyewear place, and they used the eyes thing on the thing, which it was on on the property of the place. You know how long it would take me to realize what the number is with eyes? That is such an old thing. You can't have that shit. But Craig and Johnny, Jay Bird. She now has all my glasses. I don't have shit. If I lose these, I got to go to Walgreens and buy one of those, magnifying glasses. But go down to Absolute Eyewear, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 732-326-3937. Craig and Jay Bird. Full opticians. Everything's there. Charles Oakley's on my fantasy team. They got glasses for kids. They do contacts, eye exams, everything. Open 5 days a week. Closed Wednesday for softball and Sunday because the football Giants are on the air. Go check them out. Absolute Eyewear. They are friends of the show, friends of Chop Sports, friends with everybody. And if you go in there and mention anything about Dave, me, the show, whatever you got to do, and of course, Absolute Eyewear does another special thing on the show. They sponsor the NFL Stinks List here. Now, it's an interesting Stinks List because I have less teams that stink, which is rare. Maybe I was just feeling, maybe because the Giants played a regular game, I could feel that way. I have the Bills as very good, but I'm sorry, the Patriots, Jets, and Dolphins, you guys all stink. Cincinnati Bengals, I was going to give them a little bit better, but Joe Burrow being out, that's a big problem there. So I'm going to keep them an average. They're 2-0.
If I listen to cut you off, if I'm the Bengals, I'm giving a fourth round pick to the Giants and tell me to send me over Jameis Winston. I mean, that's the solve right there. Like that's Jameis Winston will throw for 5,000 yards as a member of the fucking Bengals, dude. Go make that happen.
How are you gonna? It's Tuesday. How are you the guy gonna come?
I'm not saying Burrow's gonna miss 3 months. So if they want to go Browning,
he's
fine.
Out. They said 3 months. I thought it was.
Yeah, he's gonna be gone till after Thanksgiving.
What are the odds that the Giants make a decent move there? And then they should go get DeVito. Cincinnati Bengals average. Baltimore Ravens average. You know what? The Pittsburgh Steelers, you stink. I loved it because you know what? Aaron Rodgers is back. Aaron Rodgers. No, you know why? Because he played the Jets. This guy is shot. It's so over. I don't care what anybody says. They stink. And the Cleveland Browns and all these stupid people that all these. First of all, I have trouble like the AI articles on Facebook and stuff.
Oh, dude, my dad is getting duped every week.
No, they're saying like that Shedeur Sanders is getting ripped on by his quarterback, and it's all not. It's all not true at all. And if anybody thinks that like Shedeur Sanders isn't being a professional, listen, being cocky and being a son of Dion is one thing, but like he's not. He's just doing his. He'll get his chance. He'll play in a game eventually. But like it's weird. I hate that. So I hate about the internet, interweb, everything. I have the Browns to stink. I have the Colts and Danny Dimes as very good. Listen, that's a cool story. I got to give this guy Jones a little credit. Giants stunk.
He's got an offensive line. He's got a running game. He's got receivers who could throw the ball.
He always kind of threw
catch the ball. Sorry.
And he's doing all right. Good for him, man. Shit. Anybody play with the Giants in the last 5 years should get a Medal of Honor or something. The Jacksonville Jaguars average. Texans and Titans, you both stink. The Chargers, very good. The Raiders, you stink. I have the Broncos as average because they played the Colts tight, and really it was a penalty on the field goal at the end, so you can make the case. And the Kansas City Chiefs, for the first time in the history of the NFL stinks list. I'm sorry, Kansas City, you stink. I can't believe no one else feels this way. You just smell it. I mean, it's like, and you know what it reminds me of? I'm going to blow the year. My brother's going to yell at me. And you went through this too, the Cowboys. I forget what year the Giants, 91, I guess maybe 93. After the Scott Norwood thing, there was this, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, like you get the feeling someone in one of the GMs in one of their meetings, like, hey guys, we stink. Like it just ends. I have to look back, see where the Giants really went. I'm sure the Cowboys did the same thing after whatever. There was a certain point where Jimmy Johnson was gone, this guy's gone, and all of a sudden you realize, hey, you know what? We're leaning on our Super Bowl years from 3 years ago, and they just. I think the Chiefs just don't have it. Watch them beat us 70-3, which I'll laugh. Which would be good. I'll be out of there at halftime. I have the Philadelphia Eagles as very good, but I have the Commanders as average because I don't know what the Commanders are right now. The Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to keep it average only because the Giants went up and down the field on them, and I'm bumping the Giants up. Because not so much for the 534 yards of total offense, because I watched the whole game, which to me is rare, and I'm going to give them an average. Now, the NFC North and NFC South, of course, we have special guests every week. Tyson is going to do the NFC North. Now, Tyson, I don't know how to do this. I guess we'll do Tyson's then mine. That's how we'll do it. Tyson gives the Green Bay Packers a very good. I don't. I give them a good. The Tyson gives the Minnesota Vikings a stink. I give the Vikings an average. And he gives the Detroit Lions a very good. I'm not. I'm giving them average. They got to prove it to me for a while. But we both agree on the Chicago Bears, who were favored against the Cowboys. As they both.
Like I said, they're favored because they're home. That's all.
No, but it shouldn't. There's something wrong there. That line's going to change. There's no
Vegas
way.
always knows something. I
know. You wonder. I get it. So now the NFC South, Darryl Clark, and thanks to shout out to Tyson Hogan for getting me these things on time. We kind of differ, I guess. He has the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as average. I got him as good. I gave him a bump. He has the Falcons as average, and I kept him at average. And we both have the Saints, his favorite Saints, and the Panthers as stink. NFC West, 49ers, good. Arizona average. The Rams, good, and they're in third place. And the Seattle Seahawks, I have as average. That looks to be the best division in football. So, week 2, 12 stinks, 12 averages, 4 goods, and 4 very goods. That'll do it here from the Omni in Atlanta. Brought to you by Absolute Eyewear on Main Street in Woodbridge. Call them up, even if you have a question about your eyes or something. They'll walk you through it, and you could talk about Rutgers with Jay Bird. And now, since a lot of the teams stink and the Giants Giants are shitty, you must have shitty carpets. And if you do, Dave, what do you got to do?
Well, I'm going to call my friends over at oxymagic.com or wherever the hell you are on my screen. I'm looking right at the screen and I still don't even know where they are.
I love it.
Yeah, no, they're great, man. I'm a 2-time user now for OxyMagic. I think they're great. And I got 2 kids who just decided to just tear up everything.
And I have a light carpeting when I got this place.
Same.
So yeah, but I tell you, when they're done, they carpets shit works.
I got DM'd by the guy who serviced who knew me, and he was like, "Hey, I'm the guy." I was like, "Oh, no shit, that's so funny." So I do know.
We even have a personal issue there with the carpeting at Oxy Magic USA, OXY Magic USA. They're great. They really got a bunch of good staff. It's ran by my buddy Tom DeMeo. Dries in about 1 to 3 hours. I'm going to bump it up an extra hour there. And of course, they also are still offering 0% financing, which that is me and Dave always keep a sharp. We watch that like the stock markets. That's still available. Because maybe we're going to do the podcast live from while we clean carpets, which can always happen. In other news, there's a lot of, let's see. I want to mention, first of all, Robert Redford passed away. Now, I know I'm older than you, but he's an iconic guy. And my buddy Anthony Mastromaro, who did Beer League, also produced his last movie. He died, I couldn't believe he was 89. And the Sundance Film Festival, which is a major film festival now, that was his whole thing. He started out very small doing it and became this juggernaut of a film festival. So that's kind of cool. So Robert Redford, I mean, big 60s, 70s guy. When he was younger, he was a hunk. Every woman loved the way he was
a hunk.
Whatever the hell it was. But he was like your George Clooney.
I haven't heard that word in a long time, Jimmy. You're showing your age when you say shit like that.
I know. And also,
he was a hunk.
I'm coming off my first network TV show last week. We shot Elsbeth on Wednesday with Carrie Preston, Sarah Steele, and Ivan Hernandez did the scene with me. I can't go into detail what I did. It was awesome. Carrie Preston, who plays Elsbeth, she couldn't have been sweeter. She's from Macon, Georgia, and I did some charity work in Macon for years. So we had a nice conversation there. They were very welcoming. It's always great when you're on a set. Weird thing was we were doing all their turnarounds first. And of course they cut to me, and I bumbled this one line each time, and I was pissed at myself. But I think they didn't tell me. I was reading it a certain way the whole time. And then when the cameras came on me, I continued to read it. And
so you pulled the Linda Salvo?
Well, a little bit, yeah. And I'm like, but yeah, I was, that's so funny to those of you scoring at home. But the real cool thing was Robin Givens was the director, which was cool.
Wait,
Robin Givens? Robin Givens, yeah.
No shit.
Married to Tyson. She was very sweet. She gave me a few notes that I needed. When you're new to a set, you don't know what the hell's going on. But we shot it over in Williamsburg, and it's so funny. I'm such a loser. I go to these sets, and it's in a cool restaurant in this section of Brooklyn where you're like, I could live here. It's one of those. Brooklyn's weird. Some sections of Brooklyn are like, ooh, they didn't get the memo that it's nice to live in Brooklyn. And then certain parts of Brooklyn, you're like, okay, I'm in the middle of like Hoboken right now. This is beautiful, but this restaurant looked cool as hell. I was like, I totally want to go.
Is this a series premiere or like season premiere or a season episode?
Season 3. I'm in season 3.
What's the premise of the show?
It's a what do you call it? Spinoff from The Good Wife. She plays like a detective.
Okay.
Kind of Columbo-esque, but she's a little bit like flighty.
Got it.
You don't know where she's coming. Some people say autistic. That's not really what it is. She looks at things outside the box. But we shot it in Williamsburg, and afterward, first of all, the traffic to get in there I was like 8 minutes late. I left on like Tuesday night. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I called it. I actually got there on time, but it was like, oh my God, the traffic was, you can't live in New Jersey and work in Brooklyn. Can't do it.
That's part of the old man rhetoric. No matter what you do in life, it's all about how long it took you to get there and how much traffic it was.
Yeah, it was brutal. It's funny. And I don't know that area. So you're locked in. You're like, a smart guy would know what to do here. But I just I pulled a Dak Prescott, just dumped it off of the valve using Waze all the way in, and it was brutal. But it was awesome to do it. Afterwards, I got released like at 5:00, and I was like, I'm not jumping back into 5:00 traffic. So I ducked into this bar. I sat down. I had a couple vodka tonics. I was like relaxing, looking at my phone, checking a million emails that I got. And then I left a little bit easier ride on the way home. I was check. This is how you know. You want to talk about how old I am. First thing I do is, wait a minute, what time do the Yankees play? What time do the Mets play? Anytime you're getting near the Bronx or Queens, you have to check to like who's doing what.
Well, they're on the road now, so we're good on that.
Of course, I was like, check that out.
They stink again.
They stink. Well, that's another thing, which brings me to the Yankees. The last like two games.
It's first wild card or bust now, man. Like division's out of reach, I think, unless Toronto completely collapses. We got a cupcake schedule down the stretch.
Their magic number to make the playoffs is 9. They got 12 games to go. So if the Yankees go 9-3 and the other team runs the table, they'll make the playoffs. But the last 2 games are again the argument for like getting rid of Boone. I think is what happened in the last 2 games. They just look flat. It's like, I listen. My favorite player is Stanton. I think he's like 5 for 60 in his last. He looks terrible, slow.
He's saving it for October.
I know, but he looks like shit. And of course, Judge is starting to hit. But in other news, of course, and by the way, the Mets stink too. The Mets may not make it. They're only
if they don't make the play, Michael Kay said it the other day on his show. If the Mets don't make the playoffs after signing and blowing their wad on Juan Soto, that is going to be something that you'll never ever forget. Ever.
And everybody's saying that Soto is actually having a great year.
To me, you can have the greatest year of all time, but if your team stinks, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I think a big part of the Mets are, I think Lindor and Soto, though Alonso came through. They're all
Alonso's had himself a heck of a year, right. Especially on a contract year now. Like he's going to make some.
I think the Mets will probably sign him again, but the Mets, if they don't make the playoffs. But I also think if the Mets get in the playoffs, oh, by the way, wait a minute. If the Yankees have to play the Red Sox in one of those playoff things,
it's a 3-game set in the Bronx if they get the top wild card.
They're not hitting the guy pitched on Sunday.
We hit him a little bit.
Not really.
He's one of my favorite followers.
That guy's good, man.
His name's
I forget his name already.
No, Crochet. But one of my favorite followers on Twitter, his name is Frankie. Frankie's Too Loud or something like that on Twitter. And he compared Crochet to the Russian from Rocky IV. Like, like when we got a couple hits, you're like, you see, he's not a machine. He's a man. You know what I mean? Like it's possible to hit off the guy. But yeah, 3-game series in the Bronx, I think bodes well for the Yankees. 3-game series on the road. No, I don't like that at all. So
yeah, that's what it is, right? If you're the last team, you got all 3 are on the road, right?
Well, that first wild card series is 3-game set, but it's all at one place. So it'll be the worst division winner.
Right now, the Yankees are first wild card, right?
Yeah.
So they would play the shitty division winner.
No. There's 4 divisions. So the 4th division winner will play the 3rd wild card. The 3rd wild card, and then the 1 and the 2 wild cards play each other. No, there's no bye. There's buys for the top 3, top 2 wild card. Top 2. I'm sorry. There's 3 divisions, not 4. I don't know. I'm thinking of the NFL.
Yeah. So the top 2 division winners get a bye.
Right.
The shitty division winner plays
the 3rd wild card.
Okay.
So right now, as it stands right now, the season ended today. It's the Yankees play Boston in the Bronx. So that's kind of what you want right now. But like The Houston Astros are a half game behind Boston, so it's neck and neck.
Either way, they're going to play. Well, you know what? Listen, I think the Yankees stink. So play the Astros, play the Red Sox, give us some fun in the first round. I laughed today because there's extensive articles on hockey in the New York Post. I'm like, I just finished Labor Day and hockey starts like soon, right? Like next week.
And the Rangers just announced today that JT Miller is their new captain, their 29th captain in team history. So we're excited about that. And we're about to play some preseason hockey soon. So yeah, it's coming.
But when is opening day for hockey? October 15th, or is it earlier than that?
No, it's later than that.
Okay, because
they play like 6 preseason games or some shit. Like it's not a lot.
Before we get, first of all, I've told this story online. I will continue to tell it. I was in Leggett one year at a shore house. It felt like it was like mid-July or August, and there was a hockey game on. And I look at we were there early on a Saturday. It was like 1 o'clock. We get something to eat. No, it had to be at night. One of the bartenders I knew, and I see a hockey game on. I'm like, oh, what is that, preseason already? The guy goes, what do you mean? I'm like, well, the hockey. He goes, it's game 7. I was like, game 7 of what? I had felt, I'm a sports fan my whole life, and I always know about the different leagues. To me, the Rangers were eliminated 4 months before, and now it's game 7. And I didn't know. I think it was one of those years where one of the Tampa teams won it. So I didn't know who. I didn't see any Expos. I didn't see any Boston Bruins. I saw like 2 teams that looked like a preseason game to me, or the USFL of hockey. And the guy's like, no, it's been a great series. I'm like, what? The Stanley Cup is going to be given out tonight?
And the Rangers announced too. You know how each team, like basketball, everybody has like a patch now. Even the Yankees have a patch now for a sponsor. I guess there's a new sports apparel or something like that called Game 7 apparel. So now it says Game 7 on a Rangers jersey, and I'm just like,
why would you do that?
But you're right. Like,
first, I got a note here. Eddie Giacomin, one of the most famous goalies for the Rangers, Hall of Famer and all that stuff. He passed away the other day. But the best thing about him, like they say, when he got traded, the next game he played against them and the crowd was cheering him and all that. But he played a predominant time in his career without a mask. I think NHL, whoever, I swear to God, if I was doing a 30 on 30 documentary, I would be like, let's interview any surviving player, goalie, who played with no mask. You must not have had a family. You have to be single. You have to have like no parents, no kids, no wife.
Dude, there was times where there was the couple Rangers had a couple guys back in like the early 90s. They just wouldn't wear helmets, and I'm just like
it's crazy. Hitting the back of the head with like, what do you think?
Right.
I remember John Davidson getting hit in the mask, and he knocked him out. And there's a couple of funny. I got to do a deep dive on this. I think the last guy played, it was like 70. 1970. That's not bad. I was 5. No man. Imagine a guy taking I think those are way. You know what? I think the goalies were way better than today. You know why? You have to stop it before it hits you in the face. There's no move over side to side. There's no like technique. No, it's like.
No, because if you get out of the way, you're giving up a goal.
And I have to find out, was there like were goalies knocked out all the time? Like I know that I gotta do.
You want to know the real origin story of CTE? Well, look no further than goalies in the NHL.
Everybody's worried about the NFL, but these goalies got to be walking around like mumbling their words. And what about getting hit like on the side of the head, like those little wrist shots from the corner?
I don't even like when my kid slaps me on the ear. You know,
I don't like to get like if it's mosquitoes around my head. This guy's so, and back then they had those big like Dick Butkus guys taking slap shots. People like, oh, the players are stronger now. Bullshit. It's still a stick. It's still a puck. You got to be kidding me. I have to do a deep dive on it. Probably someone who knows hockey better than me has a whole. I know it was more of a slower game up and down the field than it is now. It's back and forth, but I don't care because I sat behind a goal about 5 years ago. Okay, for a Devils game, and somebody took a slap shot, and it was way wide of the goal, but on the angle, it kind of we were in the prudential seats, dude. I jumped back because I thought, and it makes a noise on the glass the way like you can't if that would hit
a gunshot, dude.
If that had hit me, death. I mean, because there was a kid who got killed who was in the mezzanine. You remember that? They put the
that's
nets
why they
up
put
now.
that's why they put the nets around it now.
So if you're getting killed from a slap shot off a stick into the mezzanine and you die, Eddie Jockman should have been dead 50 years ago. I'm gonna next week's show. I will have more on this. You know what I want to know?
Stay tuned, subscribe, do all the stuff you're supposed to do with this channel, like the video and all that fun shit.
You know why? Because was there anybody they have these, I'm sure they have winter meetings or summer meetings for hockey. Was anybody going, hey guys, maybe I'm thinking maybe we should have the goalies wear masks. And I'm sure, there's probably a guy with a cigar like, we're not gonna do that here in Boston. We don't know masks. Like,
watch him pussyfoot around. Like,
and like did one of the goalies, like the first, God, this would be such a funny sketch for SNL. The first, I would call it this, the first pussy goaltender going up, like knocking on the door. Hey, coach, I don't get to wear a mask this week. Think about how much you would have been totally called out. Bad enough the NFL with the single bar, and leather helmets, but at least that was like 1940s. I find that incredible. No masks on a goalie.
So I'm just looking at AI overview. Masks weren't mandated in professional hockey. Instead, goalies voluntarily adopted full face masks after 1959, and helmets became mandatory. Skaters starting incoming players in 1979. So while goalies were fairly quickly, the NHL only began mandating helmets for the 1979-1980 season.
It's unbelievable. It's insane. It's insane. That's not talked about. You agree with me?
The last player here's your baseball card. It's a hockey card. Okay. The last player, Craig McTavish, was playing without a helmet until 1997.
So there was a guy. Forget about skating. About the goalie not wearing a helmet on the court. If you're a forward, is not. What about a defense? First of all, who was the last guy? Are you a defenseman? You see how they go down to one knee when they do? You've seen that, right?
I remember when Tortorella was the coach for the Rangers. Like, that's what he prided himself in. He's like, we got a bunch of defensemen that'll really block shots. And I'm like, imagine that's your job. Like on hockey, you're skating backwards, and this guy's about to fire up a fucking slap shot, and you're like, and you're just like, take it, just take all.
Or if you take one off the forehead, someone's like, good play.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's like, ooh, that one stung.
And you go to speak and you go,
teeth falling out your face.
I'm doing a deep dive on it for next week's show. I'm leading off next week's show with that. And the first guy to admit he's being a pussy by will. I would love to know the R 1959. So someone had to say, hey, well, what if a guy, it had to be a GM going, hey guys, we're on our 8th goalie. Can we please wear masks? There's an unemployment line of goalies who take the beating. Anyway, also,
Andy Brown, just so you know, the last NHL goalie to play without a mask was Andy Brown, who played his final season in 1974.
It's unbelievable to me. I gotta do more.
His final maskless NHL game was 1974.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable. I gotta see. There's gotta be. I'm telling you, I gotta do more. I think it's hysterical.
That is hilarious.
That is funny shit. Well, tomorrow I actually get an MRI, bro. I'm telling you, I'm banged up. I don't know what it is. It hurts from my ear down to here. Sometimes it goes a little bit down the arm. I think I'm having a heart attack.
I was just gonna say, you sure you're not stroking out on me?
No, I've gone to the doctor. I've done everything. I've gone to the doctor. I've gone to the that's my sister calling me now. I've gone to she probably heard me say it. I've gone to the doctor. I've gone to the acupuncturist. I've gone to
Jimmy, stop the podcast. You're having a stroke.
I'm dead. Jimmy's dead. I'll die. Imagine if I died doing the show. That'd be hysterical. You just think I'm late. Jimmy's late.
Well, honestly, when you weren't answering, I was like, oof. I hope there's nothing actually wrong. As I'm messing around with the chat, I'm like, Jimmy's taking a sweet ass time. I'm like, well, maybe Jimmy's face down on his Oxymagic clean carpet. And I don't.
When you live alone, you think that. What if I kept getting out of the shower?
You need one of them buttons, right? The ones that you like press when you go down.
Listen, if there was a bet that someday Jimmy's going to be filled with maggots, for anybody who knows these days, it's maggot day here at the stadium. Anyway, I'm getting an MRI tomorrow. Because I'm going to the game Friday, and even watching the game, it's uncomfortable. Anyway, also, I think I normally don't do this on the show. I do want to. I'm not political or anything, but I was on the set of Elsbeth when I got a text like, "Hey, I can't believe somebody got killed," and uh, I I was like, some guy got killed. I was like, I didn't see the names and stuff, and this guy who got killed,
Charlie Kirk.
I had been. I was going to say his name. I had been watching him over the last like 2 months, and not exactly in a political way. I actually got a kick out of what he did in terms of he just would face these young college kids that are full with piss and vinegar, and he would answer their questions. And I was more into the way he would be like, no, no, like he would like redress them backwards, not necessarily right, left. It could have been the opposite, where a left guy brings you. I just liked the way he went. No, no, that's not true. And he was very polite, very nice. The way he did it, he let the other people speak. He always let the opposition side speak first. And Joshua Diaz. So I'm on the set, and then it came through, and then I was like, oh my God, that's the guy I've been watching. Because I didn't even know his name. That's how I wasn't really, I didn't know it cold. And what really bothered me the most, and you said some things on Facebook too, but I didn't post anything about it. What bothered me the most is that some guy, married, young wife with 2 kids, got shot technically on live television, because that's what the internet is now. And he's got 2 young kids around your kid's age, give or take a year or 2. And, for speaking out his mind in a open forum, not from his from his little phone like some other people do, some other people way up in the government too. He just would sit there and talk to people on college campuses. That's awesome to me. And somebody just shot him. And it's a very sad thing. There's been, Trump got almost killed twice. The golf course, that guy was ready to shoot him. Then the other thing, and then the 2 people in Minnesota there, and all these different people. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. Like, just anytime we're having politicians killed, that is anybody killed for that matter. But someone has a difference of opinion, you take them out in a pussy way from 200 yards out. Very, very sad to me. I have nothing more to say on that. To me, it was just a dad who got killed.
And that's how it sat with me. Is that his kids
were
in the front, like the kids were in the front row, and the wife was in the front row, and they're all just like the one that's the one thing that broke me the most, was like the kid heard a noise, got scared, and ran towards towards Charlie. He was already gone. So it was it's and that's something that they're going to have to live with for the rest of their lives. And it has nothing 0.0, and I'll stand by this, 0.0 to do with right and left. Listen. It has everything to do with good and evil. And there's just some evil fucking people out there, man. And they'll do by any means necessary. That's why I tell my kids, no matter what, every morning when I drop them off at school or they walk out the door, I kiss them on the head. I tell them I love them, but I also say, be kind. Be kind to everybody. I don't care what they look like. I don't care if they're a boy or a girl. Like, it doesn't matter. Just be kind to everybody. And if you just raise your kid that way, we're all good. Like, the society will progress. But unfortunately, it starts at the top. And a lot of parents out there, shame on you guys for teaching this.
Before Natalie was born, I used to always say, boy or girl, I didn't care. I just wanted healthy, obviously. But it's like, I said, I just want her to be kind. Because I think if you're kind, you could still be a douche. You could still be unsuccessful. You could be a drunk. You could be a drug addict. You could be president. You could be Michael Jordan. It doesn't matter. But if you're kind, I think it's a huge asset in life. And there's big players. Certainly, Charlie was a big player on the right. And there's big players on the left, Pelosi, AOC, Biden, Joe Biden. I certainly wouldn't want, I would be the same way if someone else on the left got killed like that. And I hope I loved what the Utah governor said, I don't know anything about him politically. He's a Republican, that's all I know. But when he said the line, hey, maybe we got to get off the off-ramp here. And maybe this guy's tragedy will lead to something good in terms of people just.
Well, if you remember, Jimmy, a lot of people that always feel like we're divided, right? A lot of people are always like, hey, why don't we all act like we all acted on September 12th of 2001, right, where everybody was like, okay, somebody from somewhere else just came in on our turf and did something crazy, and we all united as one. Take this now as the next unfortunate tragedy. And like I said, it rocked me to my core, because it's just like, first of all, it was my 40th birthday, and I'm like sitting there like enjoying my birthday from at the office here, and I'm like, this is a good day, you know. And like somebody was like, hey, Kirk got shot, doesn't look good. I'm like, what, and I just feel like if this is one of those things that propel us to try to unite us, even though I think we're so far gone from that. It's just like being a fan of sports. You hope.
No, it's not. I couldn't even think. Like I was just there when you said your birthday. I was just about to go, oh, so some guy dies and your birthday's ruined, but I can't even do that. There's nothing funny. People are
texting me, happy birthday. I'm sorry that this all happened today. And I'm like, don't be sorry to me. Like,
I know.
It's only 40.
And I don't care. I know the woman spoke afterwards, the wife and everything. A lot of people feel good about that. But you know what I kept on thinking during the entire time she spoke? I was like, oh my God, lady, it's nice of you to talk, but you got 2 kids you got to deal with. They're no dad. Oh my. I couldn't get past it. I don't. She could have said, she could have done kumbaya. Whatever she said, I was like, you're a single mom now with the 2 kids. Oh my God. I couldn't get past it. I didn't care. I didn't listen to a word she said. All I was like, your husband and your dad, and the dad is gone. Oh, I don't know. You know what? I hate to end the show on a thing like that, but I figured we never do politics on this. So
For that reason,
because you alienate. I know. I'm sure. Listen, there was things a lot.
You've told me. We've known each other for 4 years now, and you've told me every time, like, don't ever bring politics in any one of your shows that you do, because 50% of the audience is going to tell you to go fuck yourself. So it's like, all right.
We had a guy that we both know, remain nameless, who had a podcast, and it was a great podcast. Still is, as a matter of fact. And he would get political while he's talking about a team. It just doesn't work. But there's forums, there's great podcasts. You want to listen to political podcasts? Just type in political podcast. You'll be listening to you dead. That's how many there are. Not on this show. We just talk about how Rutgers has to beat fucking Iowa on Friday.
Let's do it.
That's it. So maybe I'll see you Friday. Good night, everybody. And that's it. And thanks to Tyson and Daryl for doing that. And let's go Rutgers, man. Get me to 4-0, baby.
Let's do it.